Dun, dun, dun. Good evening and welcome to Sadiva. Let's talk about it, baby. We are back, and guess what? Your girl got another guest. Tell God thank you, Jesus. Well, today I am with Mr. Rodney Pipkin, and he is going to be sharing his story from riches to rags to deliverance. Did you hear what I say, baby? From riches to rags to deliverance. And when I tell you he got something to say, but before he say it, you know we got to start with a positive thought. So today, life is like a camera. Focus on what is important. Capture the good times, develop from the negatives. And if things don't work out, take another shot, baby. You heard it. So with that being said, Rodney, you want to tell a little bit about yourself before you start?
Yeah, my name's Rodney. I'm from Livingston, North Carolina. Pretty much started, I was a regular guy, high school, and I joined the military. Had my first son when I was 18, so I said I want to be a positive figure. So I said I'll join the military. Plus, I had a few people in my family that were military veterans as well. So I was in the Army for 6 years, and I got out. And I wanted to start a new path. So I started doing civilian contract work over in Iraq. I was over there for 2 years, and then I got a promotion. So I was an area water manager. So I was in Afghanistan for another 4.5 years, and I came home, and pretty much
That's when everything
started living. Things started.
Okay, so you were how old when you started in the military?
I joined when I was 17.
Oh wow! So
Yeah.
you stayed in the military from 17 till how old were you when you got out?
26.
Oh,
I want to say 26. I think that's the
Okay.
math.
okay,
Yeah,
from
26.
17 to 26.
Yes.
All the people that know math or something like that, then y'all can calculate it. You heard it? Calculate it. But anyway, okay, so you're a good guy and everything. You got it going on,
Yeah.
doing good. Okay, so tell me just tell me a little bit about the good things. Let's talk about the good
Yeah.
things.
Okay. Well, I always been good with money management. So, had some, I did pretty well in the military, maintaining my finances. And like I said, when I started doing the civilian contract work overseas, it was like, wow, it's a lot of money to be made. I mean, 6-figure salary. So I started out, with making about $100,000 a year. So things were going well, investing, had stocks and all of that stuff. And I bought my first home when I was 26. The first youngest the black guy on the block, biggest house, nice car. Bought me actually went right across the street at Easter and bought me a brand new Chevy Tahoe. Bought a new
Okay.
Chevy Tahoe. Already had another vehicle. Actually had 2 other vehicles that were paid for. So I said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and show out on them. And I put some 24s on it. Put a system in there, 412s in the back. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
And,
then.
yeah, so, like I said, bought my first home. And it was a funny story, because one day I was home on R&R, and I was
Okay,
going.
hold for a moment.
I'm sorry.
You home on R&R. I don't want to lose nobody,
Uh-huh.
So what is R&R?
R&R is it's like vacation. It's called resting
okay.
and relaxation.
Rest and relaxation.
Right,
That's
right.
what it was doing. Okay, go
Right,
ahead.
right,
Rodney.
right. And one day I said I'm gonna go check the mail. So I'm early in the morning. It's about 9 o'clock. I had a Corona.
Oh, Corona.
Yeah, Corona. Had my
Okay.
bathrobe on, some Tim boots, going to get my newspaper. And my neighbor, he was a narcotics guy, and he said, "Hey, man," he waved his hand out to me. He was like, "Hey, how you doing?" I was like, "Hey, what's up?" So we walked to the middle of the street, and he was like, "Hey, man, and, I noticed, you're never home." I said, "Okay." I see you noticing a lot of stuff. So he was like, "Yeah, I see, the UPS guy, you always, got the 2. I actually had another Tahoe I had bought." So now I have 2 Tahoe. Anyway, he said, "You got nice cars, and your children got all the nice toys and stuff. And I see you're not home. This and that, blah blah blah." So he said, "You mind if I ask what you do for a living?" I said, "Well, I kind of do mind you asking, but if you really want to know, I told him, I said, I sell drugs. So he stopped and paused in like shock. He was like, really? Because I gave him the answer that he assumed.
Yeah.
I said, nah, I said, I work overseas, man. I work over in Afghanistan. So his whole demeanor changed. He was like, oh, okay. So he kind of was at ease finding out what I did. So that was kind of like a funny story, sharing that with y'all today.
Okay, well, okay, you told a little neighbor you was a drug dealer or something like that. Because sometimes, people just assume, they don't think that brown people can have nice things.
Right.
And that's sad, but it's true. Okay, so with, you having a big house at 26 and having Tahoes, and you spoke of a family. So you had a family where you married.
Yes. I met a local girl around here. I don't even want to say
No,
her
we're not
name.
saying names today.
And I met her while I was in high school. I was 17. She was 21.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she breaking the law, but I'm a nice looking guy.
Okay, then. He
But,
confident too. Is he a little bit cocky? Which one is it? Which one is
it's
it?
both.
It's both.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
So but honestly, people.
Cocky this.
But people who actually know me, I do have a history of being the ladies' man. I've
Oh,
always
Lord.
been that guy. From high school.
Let me slide over.
Yeah.
Let me go this one now. Just
I've always been a ladies' man. I've never had an issue getting a woman.
Okay.
And it was.
So you were married.
Yeah, I was married,
Okay. Were you?
yeah, and I
But
did.
you was a ladies' man while you was married.
Man, I wasn't the perfect husband.
Okay.
And I was, I wasn't the perfect father either.
Okay,
It was,
gotcha.
I didn't have my father growing up. So I did my best.
Did the best that you know how.
But you
right?
know what? I'm telling a lie. I told a lie. I did what I thought was right because I felt like, hey, I'm taking care of my children financially. I'm doing my part.
But not understanding that it's not just financial, that
Right.
they need that person.
Exactly.
They need that person to
Be there.
yeah, that's right.
So yeah, yeah. So I had a lot of encounters with a lot of women.
Okay, so
Being married, and I ended up meeting another woman while I was overseas, and we ended up moving in together. So yeah, I ended up getting engaged. I bought her a ring and everything, we were engaged. So people say, how you married and you engaged? I don't know. It was just something I did. I could do that.
okay, wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let me put my idea in it.
Okay.
No, just so you overseas married.
Right.
And then you got engaged.
Yeah.
So you about to be a bigamist or something like that, right?
Bigamist, trigamist.
One of them, right?
Yeah, because it's plenty more out there,
Okay, so that happened, and then so what happened with that though?
Let me see. How can I put it? When the money runs, when your well runs dry, meaning when the money run out, you really see who really loves you. People true colors shine through. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody loves you when you're up, but it's when you're down that's when you really know who really has your back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So
with her, when your money ran out, she ran out. The one that you was engaged to while you were married.
Yeah.
Okay.
That kind of played a key factor to it. But yeah, I did her wrong too because while I was living with her, I actually had met another girl I was living with, and that was my girlfriend. So I had a wife, a girlfriend, and a fiance at the same time, and they all knew about each other.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
For real?
Dead serious. If I'm lying, Lord, kill me right now.
Wait a minute.
Yep.
So, ladies, he being honest. You don't ever hear a man say that he got a girlfriend, a fiance, and a wife.
Yep.
And you, okay.
Yeah, I'm still living.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So rewind.
Go ahead.
So I just want to put a little bit on that. So
Okay, go
while
ahead.
I was in the
Please
Army,
elaborate a little bit.
I had orders to Germany. So I was in Washington State.
Mm-hmm.
It was a base out there. I was stationed at Washington State. And we had got orders, but me and my current wife my wife at the time, we were having issues. So she was always coming back and forth to North Carolina. So I got orders. And I decided to go to Germany by myself. So I ended up meeting another female that was in my unit, and she ended up getting pregnant in Germany. So yeah, so I had to break that news to my wife before I bought my home. I said, you know what? I'm not gonna go ahead and start a new chapter in my life and have this skeleton in my closet.
So you told her.
Yeah, I told her. But I waited. I waited till I didn't tell her face to face. No. I waited.
You told her on the phone.
Yeah, I told her on the phone while I was in Iraq.
Because she was a African American woman,
she
right?
was,
so you already knew that you might not live
Yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Baby.
You got it.
Yeah, he got a little bit of sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that happening and everything, so that was a part of your life that you were a womanizer. That's what we're gonna say. We're gonna use a good word.
Yeah.
A womanizer, and you made a baby on your wife, and you had to tell her.
Yes.
Okay, so after that, what happened?
Let me see here after that. Let me see here. So I'm with my wife. I had my condo in Fayetteville, and I had my girlfriend, which they had a house in Littleton.
Okay,
So,
wait a minute.
Uh-huh.
So you bought a house
Yes.
for your wife.
Yes, in Andrew.
Okay, in Andrew. And then you had a condo
In Fayetteville. Yes.
And you had something else in Littleton?
And she had a house in Lillington.
Who?
The girlfriend.
Oh, okay. Keep
Yeah.
going.
So
Listen, women, pay attention.
So, it's funny, people say, well, how did you do that? And I always break it down. I say, man, you'll be surprised what a woman to put up with when you taking care of everything. When you the breadwinner and you really getting money. Yeah. A woman to put up with it.
Some women.
Most women.
Some women, not Cotina, baby. You heard it? Let me put that out there.
Right.
In the street. In the streets. Not the streets, but the streets. Okay, I'm serious.
Yeah.
But okay, so were you taking care of all three of those houses? So you were taking care of all these women, paying all the bills.
Yeah.
Oh, so you had a little bit of money then.
Yeah, because when I got promoted, they offered me a salary. I was making almost $200,000 a year.
Oh, yeah.
So I was making pretty good money.
Okay.
And like I said, it was cool. While I still had these women, I also had other side women as well. So it is what it is. So I ended up Yeah. So but
all right, Mr. Rodney.
we
Pipkin.
ended up getting a divorce, me and my wife, and the girlfriend that didn't work out, and the fiance that didn't work out.
So all of them work out.
Yeah.
So what about the baby, the one that had the baby?
Oh yeah. Well, my wife, she really wasn't cool with it, but I still was in my child's life. Well, I was in her life financially.
Okay.
Child support, stuff like that, and
Okay.
video chats. And she was in Texas at the time,
Okay.
so I didn't really see her. I've never met my daughter in person. Ever. Really.
Wow. That's all I can say is wow. Okay. So we balling, shot calling, womanizing. After that, so when you were doing all that, what got you to a point where you ran out of the money? Because you said your well went dry. So let's talk about what happened when your well went dry.
Okay. Yeah. So at the time, the war was kind of dying down, and they were, pulling the troops out of Afghanistan, and normally how it works in business, they usually cut the head. They usually cut the head off before the tail. So they started getting rid of all the area managers, and I was actually one of those who actually got terminated.
Okay, gotcha.
So, I came back home. I'm still all right. I still got some money saved up, because my divorce did hurt me. I mean, it hurt bad, Whew.
Because you had she took it to the bank a little bit.
She really did.
I wish I would have.
Yeah. So,
I should have listened. I should have done like I ain't playing. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I'm home, but I fail to realize is I'm still trying to maintain a lifestyle of 200,000 a year, but I didn't have anything coming in. So I'm still
Gotcha.
balling out of control, and I don't have anything coming in. So I
So
ended.
you let's so if somebody wondering, so they might say you balling out of control, but nothing won't coming in. You had money saved,
Yes,
so you were balling with your money that you
correct,
had saved. Okay,
correct, correct.
all right.
So my well is starting to become dry. I mean, I'm getting down to my last 5,000.
Uh
Because
oh.
back then, my broke was 10,000. If I was around $10,000, I was broke.
Okay.
So
All
now I'm
right.
around like 5,000. I'm like, man, something got to shake. So I have another sister, and she had met a guy, and he's big time dope boy. Not gonna say his name,
Nah, we ain't saying
and
no names today.
I'll never forget the day I was at my sister's house. She stayed right in Lillington, and I
We
was
don't
drinking.
supposed
I
to
had a
be
cup.
talking. We don't supposed to say names.
I'm sorry. I apologize. So I'm at my
Okay.
sister's house, and I had a couple drinks, and I said, "Well, I'm gonna go to Dunn where my other sister lives," and I go over there. I'm in my Tahoe, and he was over there. He was in the kitchen cooking up a whole kilo, a whole
Oh.
kilo.
Oh wow.
And he said, "Hey, Rodney, hey man, I'm gonna put you on," which means I'm gonna put something in your pocket. So he ended up throwing me a half an ounce of cocaine.
Okay.
And
So how much, for those that don't know, like your girl, how much can you get off in the street of a half a cocaine?
a half an ounce.
Oh yeah, half an ounce of cocaine. How much is
Well,
that
let's
in the
see. Back
street?
then,
Yeah,
a
back
half an
then.
ounce is 600. So you probably make $1,000, 1,200. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying? I mean, you could probably make more
Okay.
if you dime it out,
If
but
you dime it out. Oh,
normally about 1,200. I'm gonna
about
say twelve
12.
hundred
About
dollars.
12. Okay.
And I said, well, you know what, 1,200 is enough to get me by until I figure out my next move.
Okay.
So yeah, at the time, he was actually my plug on. I was selling a drug called Molly,
Okay.
and a chick I was dealing with, she smoked marijuana. So another guy who stayed around the corner from him, he sold marijuana. So I ended up picking up a little gram of some marijuana for her. And my phone call, I get a phone call, and it's one of my clients that I deal with, and he needed some Molly. He
Okay.
was like, I need 10 pills, which was $100 play.
Okay.
And I said, well, you know what? Yeah, let me go ahead and make this play. Just quick little money, and I'll be right back. And just so happened, I don't know why, I went down this street. I went down Harnett Street, which is a total no-no if you know anything about Dunn. And
That's
as
where the po
yep,
be.
and just so happened, I'm going down the street, and I see on the left-hand side of the road, I see two sets of headlights. But as I passed these cars, I realized that they're the police. So when I seen them, I actually slowed down a little bit, but I kept going because I didn't pay it any mind. I didn't break any laws. So I drove maybe 2 more blocks, and the police were on me. They put the blue lights on me. Whoop, whoop. So I'm like, man, what am I doing? I just poured up a fresh drink of Red Bull and vodka, and I got this. I had a throwaway, which a throwaway is like a dirty pistol, something that's not registered to you. So I had my
Okay.
throwaway just in case something happened. I could just throw that away.
Oh.
And so I got this gun. I'm drinking. I got this half ounce of cocaine, some Molly, and marijuana in my vehicle.
Oh wow.
So when he pulls up, he runs my name, license, registration, blase, blase. And yeah, he asked me, had I been drinking? I was like, nah, man, that's apple juice. But he could smell it. So he told me to step out of my vehicle. So when I stepped out, he said, you have an outstanding warrant. I'm like, nah.
Oh
I'm
wow.
like, what? For what? He was like, for domestic violence. So prior to me leaving a while back, me and my ex-wife had got into it, and she ended up calling the police on me. But I didn't know she went down and took papers out on me.
Oh,
Because when the
okay.
police actually came over to the call, they were looking for signs of domestic violence.
Oh wow.
But since, they didn't see anything, they let me just leave. I just wanted to leave. So I'm getting arrested. So, yeah, so
Oh
I'm
wow.
sorry. So he's searching my vehicle, and I asked him, I said, what are you doing? He was like, I'm searching your vehicle. I'm like, well, you say since I've been drunk, you suspect me of being drunk. That gives you a probable cause to search my vehicle. I do know the law. He said, yeah. I knew he was lying, but I said, you know what? I'm going to jail tonight. He said, why you say that? I said, you'll see, because I didn't have time to get rid of anything.
So you couldn't throw away to
Couldn't
throw
throw away
away.
nothing. Nothing.
Oh wow.
So, yeah. So he ended up finding everything I had in my truck. And I believe this was the night. You know what? This was the night where my whole life changed completely.
Mm.
And I ended up going down to Harnett County, locked up. I caught 3 felonies, and I had 2 misdemeanors.
Oh wow.
And yeah, I had a bond, 75,000. So I had to pay all this money, and my sister and her friend ended up helping me get a lawyer, and another lawyer in Dunn, and that was another 10,000. I think he ended up charging me like 10,000 for this.
Was it Gerald Hayes?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I didn't know we could drop names.
Oh, he a lawyer. He helps you out.
Right.
He might need some business or something like that.
Right. Gerald the man, he kept me out of prison. So so as everything going on, I ended up meeting with Gerald, and he told me, he said, Rodney, man, look, if you didn't have a gun, this would be an easy case. But since you had this gun, you're making it a lot harder on me.
Mm.
So he said, hopefully the feds don't pick up this case. So he said, but right now, the way it's looking, they're going to give you a year for each bullet in that gun, not including the drugs you had. Mm. So it was a little 380 that I had, and it had 7 rounds in it. So I'm looking at 7 years. So when I left his office, I was like, I was distraught, you know, because I'm like, now I'm looking at it like, man, I might go to prison for 7 years, you know, and I don't want to do this. So I'm stressing out. You know, I'm not eating, you know, and it's just really, it was really hard on me because I didn't know what my future held, you know, so, and I was scared, you know, it was just life. So, I'm at my sister's house one day, had a drink, and she was doing some Percocets. And she was like, hey, bro, try this. So she, you know, she crushed them down, and, you know, I was like, how you do it? And she was like, just snort it. So I did it, and, you know, I didn't really like it. It was my first time, but I did it. And I was like, it's okay. You know, I felt all right. And she was like, here, try it again, try it again. So, you know, I ended up doing it, and I was like, okay, I'm feeling kind of good. So this started becoming a daily thing. Okay. You know. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you good. Mm-hmm. But I don't want you to get too quick, too far in, because I want to bring something out. Okay. At your lowest time, when you felt your lowest, that's when you decided to turn to drugs.
Yes.
But as long as you was high, up, and had it going, you never probably thought you would be on drugs.
Exactly.
And that's what I want to bring out. I want to bring out that sometimes we can say what we will or will not do until we're in that situation. And you just never know what may happen in your life for that to happen. So with Rodney, he's letting us know that he was low when this happened. Because as long as he was high, he was all right. And see, it affects your mental person. He couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, was scared. And then he turned to something that made him feel good, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can continue with that and tell us how the Percocet started.
So it started with Percocets. And, you know, like I said, at the time, I didn't know my sister was actually, you know, she was doing other drugs. Mm-hmm. And so one day she was like, hey, try this Coke. She had some cocaine. So I said, let me try this cocaine. And I liked it. Mm-hmm. You know, it was like drinking 10 cups of coffee. It just gives you a lot of energy, you know. So now I'm doing Percocets and cocaine.
Oh, wow.
You know.
And you said it make you feel like you drink 10
cups of coffee. It just give you a lot of energy.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So the funny part about it was that my other sister, the guy that she dealt with, he was a big time dope boy. You know, he was the coke man around here. So I had a easy access to cocaine that I didn't have to pay for. It was always, hey, let me get this. I mean, it wasn't small amounts. It was always an 8-ball or better for free.
Oh, wow. Now, let me get back to that. I'm glad you brought that out, because tell me how, you know, like or you'll probably get there when you were saying that you had that type of reputation where if you did ask for something and you didn't have it, you could get it because people knew you had it.
Right. It was always, I always had a good name around here. You know, I was just always a solid guy. I was just that guy, and people knew I was never known to not have any money. So me actually coming to somebody asking, it was like it was not heard of. So if I
Okay.
did come to you, people knew it was something real. So that's why I was always able to get things for free and not be asked questions. I wasn't questioned why.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So go on and tell me about that journey.
Uh,
So you doing Percocet
mm-hmm.
and you are doing cocaine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So did you add to or that was
Yeah.
enough? You added?
Well, let me see here. We had another drug that we would do, which was Molly.
Oh, okay.
Well, Molly was more like a party drug.
Okay,
it looked like little sand pebbles. I can't really
okay.
explain it. It's you just put them on your tongue, dissolve it, and it give you the same effect as cocaine.
Oh, wow.
They call it a turn up drug.
Oh, okay.
But Molly was more, it was here and there. It
Okay.
wasn't an everyday thing.
All right.
And yeah, so I mean, I'm hanging with my sister more. We just, doing drugs. Hanging out doing drugs, and I'm still chasing women. That was pretty much my life, So I'm like, hey, you know what? Something got to give. I got to find me a job. My money running out. I'm living with my sister, but I ain't bringing nothing in.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up getting a job offer in Sanford at this company called Mowing.
Okay.
And I don't know if anybody familiar with it. They make you sink faucets and stuff like that.
Yeah, heard of that in Sanford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were actually paying me very well. I was making about, I was making $20 an hour. Bringing home $1,100, $1,200, sometimes $1,500 a week. I'm like, okay, I can do that, and I'm paying my child support, so I'm still bringing home about $1,000. So now, I have a way to support my habit and myself.
Gotcha.
Because I always looked at myself as a functioning addict. I can get up and go to work and still
do drugs. Gotcha.
So I'm at work high. I do my little cocaine, my little pot at work. My little perks at work, and nobody had a clue about what I was doing.
Mm.
And what happened? When a girl I was dating, it was coming around her birthday. This was like March 2016. I want to say 16. It was her birthday, and she was like, hey, let's go down to the beach, the Myrtle Beach, for the weekend. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. So I called my sister's friend up. He was staying in Fayetteville at the time, and I called him. I said, hey, man, I need a party pack. And a party pack consists of 3 grams of Coke, 3 grams of Molly. That'll pretty much last one person, depending on how that can last you a week. But I was just getting it for the weekend. I said, hey, I got enough to sell, make a little money, and have my little fix,
Mm-hmm.
So we ended up going down to Myrtle Beach, and we went through this little small town in Marion, South Carolina. And I didn't see the state trooper, but it was a state trooper posted up, and it was in a 25-mile-an-hour speed zone. But I was doing 36. But
still,
we didn't know because there are no signs posted. So while I'm riding, as we're going down to the beach, I was with the girl I was dating at the time, her cousin. And they were smoking marijuana. They were smoking blunt for blunt. I'm like, hey, y'all need to be careful what y'all doing because y'all know what I got in this car. I'm all about, let's be smart about it,
Okay, because you functioning.
Right.
Gotcha.
So we ended up getting pulled over. So I said, hey, well, I'm sorry, rewind. I said, oh, man, I said, the boys behind us. I said, y'all need to stuff this. And when I mean stuff it, I mean one of y'all take this and put it in your bra, your panties. I got 2 women, I got 2 packs, so they shouldn't find this because anybody who knows the law know that the police can't search no female without a female present. That's just law.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for that because I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we ended up getting pulled over. And they ended up I had my other gun in my car. So
you had another gun?
Yeah. That was registered to me though. That was my gun.
So that wasn't no dirty gun.
No, that was mine.
That was real.
Right.
Okay.
But it didn't matter because I still had drugs and a gun in the car.
Oh, wow.
So they found a gun. They found the cocaine, the Molly, the marijuana. I'm sorry, I had some liquor in there we were drinking. So we was drinking and they found a gun.
Turn up.
Mm-hmm. So the police, they came back to the vehicle and they said, hey, Mr. Pipkin, we ran your name and we know this ain't your first rodeo. If you go ahead and confess that it's yours, we'll let the girls go. But in my mind, I'm like, well, I told them from the jump, hey, have some discipline. So I looked at the officer and said, hey, man, I don't know what you're talking about. So he ended up taking all us to jail. And so it's a Friday night. So I'm like, man, I got to go to work Monday. So I called my mom up, tell her what happened. So the girls end up getting out. My mom and my sister end up coming down there that Sunday, like Sunday afternoon, which I was irritated because I'm like, what took y'all so long? Because my bond was only $11,000. I had the money on me, but they wouldn't let me sign myself out. But anyway, they ended up coming to get me out. And, yeah. And I ended up coming back home. So now I'm facing charges in South Carolina, and I have a job.
Oh, wow.
To get back to. So, let me see here. Maybe about 3 months passed, and my employer ended up finding out about what happened to me because they have a policy. If anything like that happens, you have to report it to, the company needs to know about it. And I failed to report this incident to them. So I ended up going to HR, and they ended up firing me, because of that situation. It all stemmed back to drugs, me having drugs,
Okay.
So
you lost your job.
Mm-hmm.
So did it send you deeper into the drugs, or did it make you say, wait a minute, I got to get another job? Because you said you were functioning.
Mm-hmm.
So I know it made you think. So did it make you say, well, I got to get another job because I got to keep this, or how did it affect you?
Both
ways?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. It started doing more, and I also needed to find a job to support my habit.
Okay.
So
at this time, just to get something out.
Mm-hmm.
When you were on drugs, and like you just said, you was trying to think, you were basically thinking about yourself.
Yes.
And that was it. Because
Mm-hmm.
They said when you're on drugs, you don't think about nothing but you. When you get it. Okay.
It was selfishness. I wasn't even thinking about my children at the time.
Gotcha.
I'm like, hey, they getting child support, they taking it out my check, so they good.
Gotcha. So, y'all, when I tell you, I'm kind of blown away a little bit or something like that, cause it explains a lot. With me having parents that were alcoholics, and my mom, she dabbled in drugs and things like that, and I felt like she didn't love me. So that lets you know that it makes parents selfish. So if you have a parent that's on drugs and you're upset with them right now, and you're like, you know what, you forgetting about me, baby, they don't even love themselves at this point. Okay. They are thinking about that fix. They're thinking about how can they feel what they feel, because they don't want to come back to reality yet. And that's what was happening, right? You weren't ready for reality yet. Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened after that?
So after that, at the time, like I said, I was staying with my sister, and we ended up getting into it because, she said something to me and it hurt my feelings. She was like, well.
Did she tell you the truth?
Yeah, it was the truth.
Okay.
She was like.
Most times that's what happens.
Yeah.
When that truth comes, you don't want to hear it.
But it was like, she was like, well, you ain't bringing nothing in. Why you need to stay here with me? So it was kind of like, okay, it is what it is. So I moved out and went back to my mom's house, but I was so petty. I had a 55-inch flat screen. I took that with me too. I'm like, hey, you ain't keeping my TV. You want me to stay here? But I ended up giving it back because my mom
made you a little petty.
Yeah, I made it a little petty, man. So so now I'm staying at my mom's house, and I'm back home, with my mom, and I'm really not bringing nothing in. So I'm trying to find a gig, and I don't know, for some reason it was just really hard for me to find a decent job. I was getting offers, but it wasn't nothing that I ain't gonna say I couldn't do, but I'm like, I can't survive off $9-10 an hour. I'm a grown man, I'm not in high school.
Okay.
So I ended up, I'm sorry, excuse me. So my cousin, he has a landscaping business. I ended up settling and going to cut grass for him. I ain't making no money. When I say I'm making maybe $200, maybe $300 a week,
Wow.
maybe, working with him. But it was something. Something was better than nothing. But every Friday come around, I made sure I got my drugs, because it's payday.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear it.
So I'm working with him, and I'm living with my mom, and I want to say around, I can't remember what year it was. I want to say 2017, something like that, Christmas time or something. We had something at my home church, and I ended up seeing somebody that I had went to school with, and I actually tried to get with her. You know, I had sent her a message maybe, I want to say back in 2011, 12. I shot an inbox message in her in her Facebook, and you know, she replied like, "Hey," but I was like, "Hey." You know, because my mentality was, you know, any chick, if I jumped to their inbox, it was a privilege. It was a privilege for me to be hitting you up. Oh. So, you know, I need a better response than just, "Hey, how you doing?"
Oh, cockiness.
So I was like,
cockadence.
Yeah. So I'm like, well, you know what? I ain't going to chase you. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. And we still joke about that to this day. She was like, I just thought you were speaking, you know, but hey, I was trying to holler at you.
Okay.
So, you know, people that know me know I have a very, I'm a clown. You know, I just have a really silly quality about me. You know, I can make people laugh, you know.
Okay.
So, yeah, so I ended up seeing her at church and stuff, and I think my cousin told my cousin to go get her number for me or something, but I ended up getting her number. And we started talking. Yeah, we started talking.
Well, let me ask you this before you go any further.
Yeah.
Did she know you was on drugs when you first started talking to her, or she didn't know? Okay.
No, she didn't know.
All right, gotcha.
But when we started dating, it wasn't something that I was so comfortable in my addiction that I'm like, you know what, you gonna accept me for who I am. I'm not hiding who I am for nobody.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? So she knew in the beginning what I did, you know, because I didn't hide it from her. You know what I'm saying?
So did she say something to you about it though? Like, did she say, "Look, now"?
Yeah, eventually.
Eventually, but at the beginning, she just accepted you.
Yeah, it wasn't no problem because she thought I had money.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, because the first time I had, you know, one time she came to my sister's house, I had about $5,000-$6,000 in all hundreds on the table. It might have been more than that. Yep, laid on the table. Her and her homegirl had came over to my sister's house. She had met me, and we ended up going to the liquor store. And, and I ended up giving her $100 the first time we actually had kicked it. And so she thinking at the time I got a little money.
She think you got a little bit of money though.
Yeah, I mean, because she knew I worked.
Or something like that.
But she seen all this money laying on this table.
I
It was just all on the table.
Because she seen all that money on the table and you only gave her $100. She might have just thought you was stingy a little bit.
Well, nah, I mean, you know, because I ain't tricking off. You know, that's one thing I ain't gonna do. But here you go. It was more me showing her that.
Just like, look what I got.
Look what I got. This is what I can do.
Yeah. Okay, I got it. Okay, I got you.
But she didn't know at the time how I got that money. I actually did something so bad that I still think about it to this day. You know, it still bothers me, you know, how I got that money. I don't know if you want me to share that with you, but
are you comfortable with sharing?
I mean, it's out there now.
If you're comfortable with sharing it, you can. Yeah. Hey, let's talk about it. Let's get it out.
Because matter of fact, I was at my sister's house one day and I was like flat broke, and my grandfather, God rest his soul, he had a room in his house. We called it the blue room, and he always kept that room locked. And everybody knew he had money in there, but we never knew how much.
Oh wow!
And my sister ended up taking him to the store one day, and I told her, I said, I'm gonna go ahead and get this money, you know, whenever y'all leave. And I ended up going in there, popping the lock, and I'm looking for the money. And I looked in the closet. He had buckets and buckets of change. I mean, change. But I'm like, I don't want the change. I want some money.
Mm-hmm.
So he had a dresser in there, and it was the second drawer. He had like a little leather purse. It was not too big, you know, and he had a bank fold in there. So when I looked in there, I'm like, okay, it's a little something in here. I pulled out some 10s, some 20s, and I started getting to the hundreds, but it didn't look that big.
Gotcha.
But I said, I'm going to just take a couple hundred just to get me by. But I said, why am I do that? I'm gonna take the whole thing.
Oh.
So I ended up taking the whole thing. So when I got back to my sister's house, I counted it out. It was $12,000. Yeah.
Wow.
$12,000. It was like $12,000 in there.
Oh wow.
And I gave my sister 2 of it, and I kept 10 for myself.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So did your grandfather ever find out?
Yeah. Yep. Because I went up. I did that 3 times.
Oh, so you did it 3 times.
So my family knows about it, but they don't know to the extent. But
they about to.
I mean, but it is what it is. We made peace with that before
Before
left
he
this
passed
earth.
away.
Yeah.
That's good.
So I went in there the first time. It was like 12,000. Matter of fact, it was 12,224. No, 12,400 in there. Yeah. So the second time I went in there, I knew it wasn't any cash in there. Because the first time it happened, he blamed my uncle for it. He thought my uncle had went in there and took it.
Oh, wow.
So the second time I went, I had a big Eddie Bauer luggage bag, and I filled it up with change. And people don't know how heavy change is. Change is heavy. But he stayed, when I say they stayed right next door, it was just right next door.
Okay.
Maybe 20 steps, I'm at his house.
Okay, gotcha.
So the second time I went in there, I think I got about $3,000 worth of change out of his house.
Wow.
And they didn't know about it. But the third time, I ended up breaking the window.
Oh, wow.
And they called the sheriffs and everything like that. And they ended up running fingerprints. And
Got your
I actually could have got out of it because my mom's fingerprints were on there, my aunt's fingerprints were on there, and mine. But they said mine were the freshest, so they said I could have did it. But I could have easily said, well, I'm over here all the time.
Yeah.
But the guilt in me, I ended up just
the conscience.
my
came.
conscience kicked in.
That's good. Well, that's good to know that your conscience did kick in at that point.
Yeah.
But when a person is out here and they on drugs, we gotta understand they're not thinking about who they're hurting. Okay? They're not thinking about who they're hurting. All they're thinking about is getting that next fix and how they gonna get it and what they need to do to get it. And that's what happened to you, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's bring it on. So you went from the making $200,000 down to robbing.
Right.
And after all that, what would you say made you say, you know what? How bad did it get with the drugs before you decided? You say, well, okay, I got to stop this. What happened?
Okay.
How bad did it get to you for you to say,
okay,
I got to stop?
Like I said, at the time I was still functioning. I got I'm good at getting jobs.
Okay.
So I ended up getting another job at Caterpillar in Sanford. And my fiance, we actually worked there together.
Okay.
So we ended up moving in together in November 2018. Yeah. Yeah, 2000. Yeah, we ended up moving in together. So it's not that bad. I'm still doing, I'm doing my perks because at the time that was my drug of choice was Percocets. That's what my body liked. And the prices weren't as bad.
Okay.
The prices have changed since then. So, like I said again, I'm still working, maintaining, and it's not bad, you know what I'm saying? But it was when the prices started rising was when it became a problem.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And let me see here. Yeah, that's when it started becoming a problem because now, let me see. I ended up getting fired from there.
Okay.
So
did you get fired because you weren't showing up for work?
Yeah,
or?
it was.
Okay.
I didn't like the job, so I said, you know what? I'm not gonna quit. Y'all gonna fire me.
Oh.
Y'all gonna pay me unemployment. But where it messed up was the pandemic kicked off. So now I'm bringing home $950 a week in unemployment. I'm making more on unemployment than going to work.
Okay.
And she was getting it as well. So we're bringing in $1,800 a week on unemployment. You know what I'm saying? So now my habit is going through the roof now from like $20 to $40 a day. It's $100. Sometimes $200 a day. You know what I'm saying? Buying perks. And like I said again, back then the prices were low so you could get more. But when the prices, rose, you were getting less for your money.
Okay.
So when the unemployment ran out, it was getting low. I ended up getting another job.
Okay.
Now I'm working in Dunn at a chemical plant called Brainerd.
Okay.
And I'm not making that much, but it's pretty good money. And it was close to the house. So I'm working there, still paying my bills, still functioning, but we got an hour lunch. So we could leave on our lunch break. So I have a cousin who's actually a dealer, and I could time it. I'm like, okay, it take about 25 minutes to get here, 30 minutes, and I can go there and back by the time my lunch over with, Sometimes I might take a little bit longer, but they didn't really care. So I would go to my cousin's house on my lunch break, and I had another partner of mine who worked with me. He actually did perks too. So I would tell him, hey man, look, cause lunchtime come, I'm gone, cause I want my drugs. I ain't waiting on nobody. So if you ain't in my car when I crank up, you left. You know what I'm saying? You left.
Okay.
So I would go to Lillington pretty much like every day, burning up gas. Burning up gas, spending money to get these perks. You know what I'm saying? So it got to the point to where I got tired of that job. So I said the same thing. You know what? Y'all gonna fire me. I'm not gonna quit. So I ended up getting fired there. And now I'm not, the unemployment that I used to get, I'm not getting no more because they ended up cutting off all that pandemic extra money stuff. So I ain't bringing in maybe about $150 a week.
Oh, wow.
And can't nobody survive off that. But I'm, soon as that little money hit, I'm going to the perk man and go buy perks instead of spending that and giving her gas, giving my woman gas money, just doing something good for the house. I'm spending it on drugs.
Oh,
and
wow.
see, she got paid every week, and she loved me so much, she would give me money. She was enabling me to get high. Hey, baby, cash at me $45. It was all that $45.
Oh, wow.
And she would do it because she would give me her last to make sure I got my drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like, even I would have my mom, I would come up with a good lie. I tell my mom, hey, mom, I need this, I need that. And she would send me the money. I would even have my girl line for me saying, hey, tell my mama you need this for that. And she would be texting my mom to get money for just so I get my drugs because I don't have the money that I used to have coming in. So now I got to lie my way to get it. Or I would, get fronts, which means like I would get some drugs on credit. So when I did have my money coming in, it's like, okay, now I'm digging another hole because when I get paid, I got to pay them back and get drugs.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? So it was getting really, really, really out of hand because it was like, nah, we getting behind on rent, telling lying to my landlord, like, okay, this came up, this and that, XYZ. And it was really getting out of hand. And she would tell me all the time, like, baby, you addicted. And I was like, I ain't addicted. I'm just doing this to be doing it. I didn't really see what she was saying. You know what I'm saying? It was like, and she would just plead to me like all the time, like, baby, one day she'd be like, baby, if you need some help, just, let me know. We can do it together. I don't need no damn help. Excuse my language. Excuse me.
We could blot it out.
But my bad. So it just got so bad. It got so bad because we have a home to maintain, but I'm trying to maintain my addiction. And it was really digging us into a bad place, a deep hole. And she was trying her best to maintain our home with what she made because she wasn't making a lot of money, but she did what she could to keep us afloat. And she did what she did, but through it all, she always stressed the point. I mean, it was days she would plead and cry. Baby, please stop. Slow down. Slow down. Something. And I won't try to hear it.
And you weren't hearing it, but it was hurting her really bad.
Yeah. Because it was like the way people don't know the way that the body works is, you will start, you might need one or two, but then the more you do it, you need more to get your high. So when it used to take me $20, now it's taking me $80 to $100 to get my high, to get me somewhat satisfied. And even when I got there, it won't even enough because I still needed more. You know what I'm saying? It'd be times she'd be like, I'd be like, hey, I'll lie to her. Hey, babe, I need to run to the store and get some cigarettes. And I take her card and take out an extra $20 or $40. Even if I know she gonna check it, I would still take from her. I would take her money to go get drugs. You know what I'm saying?
So in that point, you really was becoming the addict.
Yeah, I was out there. Yeah, I was out there.
Yeah, and even with the pleading and the begging, it didn't change. So what happened that made you say, I can't do this no more?
Okay. I used to hear about it. People was, used to talk about being dope sick. Dope sick. I'm like, I don't know nothing about no dope sick. It's basically when you don't got no drugs, your body, your body just hurts and you don't have no energy. You don't want to do nothing. And it's been about 5 months now. Maybe 5 months now. I started feeling the symptoms of being dope sick. You know what I'm saying?
And how did you feel? Like you said,
I did not like it.
Yeah.
I did not like it at all, because like I said, I was always functioning. It wasn't to the point. I was like, man, I could still get up and go to work.
But
And
when
even
you
if I
got
don't have
dope
them,
sick,
yeah,
you couldn't though. When you got dope sick, it was different.
right.
Okay.
Because it was these two white guys that I work with. They actually were in the same position. You know, they were like, man, I don't do no perks. You know what I'm saying? Because actually, one of the guys who used to work with at Caterpillar, he was one of another guy, customer. You know what I'm saying? And you know, they just be like, man, you don't do it. I'm like, how? Like, how you do it? You know what I'm saying? They was telling me about Suboxone. I'm like, what's Suboxone? He was like, oh yeah, it's this and that XYZ. You should try one, man. Cause they used to tell me like, man, if you get off them perks, man, you'll know the difference. If you just take your Suboxone, man, you know. And they was like, I even give you the number to my doctor. You know what I'm saying? If you really want to get off of them, man, because I'm telling you, man, you'll see the difference in your the way you feel and in your bank account. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up catching COVID, and this was January. Yeah, January, and my body just did not get back right. You know, and I'm taking perks, I'm just popping these like, it was just not working. It was just not working, and I don't know what happened. I know I didn't have something. I was just broke, you know, because I'm borrowing money, getting fronts, and you know, and I ain't had no perks. And it was a Saturday, and I'll never forget. I felt so bad. Like, I didn't even want to, I just sat in my supervisor's office just sleep. Because all I would do is come to work, sleep, and force myself to get up and do my job. But I was like, when the guys was happening to be there, and I was like, man, you got something. I said, you got a Suboxone, man? Like, I need something, man. I said, I'm hurting today. And I felt so bad. I was hurting so bad. And it was like that little piece that he gave me was like, just
help
me out, because that was when I really felt the effects of being dope sick, and it was the worst feeling ever. And that was the day I said, you know what, I'm not going through this no more. I don't like it. I'm not doing it. So I ended up calling his doctor up, and I told him, I said, look, I need some help with these opioids. They were like, well, just come in, XYZ. And I didn't even tell my girl at the time, my fiance. I didn't even tell her, you know, because my family, they ended up having an intervention for me.
Oh, wow.
This is, I can't remember exactly when, but it was way before I even went to the doctor. And it was like, I didn't like it because I felt like they attacked me. And I felt like my girl had something to do. And I'm like, you knew? Because it was like my sister called me like, hey, let's go to mama's house, this and that, XYZ. And I felt like she had something to do with it. And I cussed her. I made her feel so bad, but she really didn't have a clue about what was going on. And so I was sitting back looking at my other sister like, well, how can you judge me when you was waiting? You know, now I'm like, okay, I'm blaming everybody. It's like, you was out there waiting, you know what I'm saying? Like,
worse than
you
me.
was worse than me. And then you over here, you doing this, you doing that. And I'm like looking at my mama like, you ain't perfect. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so I felt like they attacked me.
You were feeling like they attacked you, but you really was
them.
attacking
Yeah.
Okay. So whenever you said, you know what, this is bad, I can't do it anymore, so you got on the Suboxone. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Suboxone. So when you got on the Suboxone, what happened after that?
My life changed.
Okay.
I mean, when I say it changed, right, like immediately, you know what I'm saying? Because the first time I actually had my doctor's appointment, I took her with me.
Okay.
And I told the doctor what was going on, and she was there with me. She was actually talking to the doctor somewhat as well, you know. And so we was like, okay, well, we're going to try you on this right here, you know, because they have a pill form and it's like a film, dissolvable film, like, you know, those Listerine strips?
Yeah.
They
like
work
that.
the same way.
Okay.
But they don't give, like, if they ask you, how did you do your drugs before? And I used to snort mine. So they're not going to give you a pill form because it's still like a form of fetish, you know.
Gotcha,
so they're not going to give you any pills. But yeah, so I ended up going there and I got on the Suboxone treatment. And when I say my life has changed, it has changed.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, God was there, you know, because she, like I said, I have a wonderful woman. You know, she would plead, baby, you don't know how many nights I prayed for you to just stop. I just want you to stop. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting emotional now.
That's all right. That's all right. See how God can come in and change things around. You heard what I'm saying? God can do anything. You understand? So, Rodney, how long has it been since you've been sober? No Percocet, none of that mess.
5 months.
5 months.
Yeah, about 5 months.
The bells are ringing, everything. And see, here's the thing, y'all. Some of you looking at this may say, oh, he ain't been in but 5 months. Baby, 5 months is better than what? Oh, right here. 5 months is better than nothing. You understand what I'm saying? Because here's the thing. Sadiva, let's talk about it. It's a no judgment zone. So this young man right here went from making $200,000 to nothing and got addicted to drugs, and God has delivered him off drugs. You understand what I'm saying? And he has been clean for 5 months. Congratulations, Rodney.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And I just want to thank him, too. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And I want to thank him, too, because he wasn't ashamed of anything. He told the truth, okay? And that's how you get healed, when you can admit what you've done, own your mess, and then let God do the work.
Yes.
And look, y'all, human form right here. Human form that God can do anything. And if you put your mind to it, he can take, baby, you can beat that drug addiction. You understand what I'm saying?
You can.
You can beat it. You look at it.
Yes.
And what's so great about this is he was talking about his children. He's a father. So when this come out, it's going to be Father's Day. So happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. And I tell you, we got through it, Rodney.
We did.
We got through it.
Amen.
We got through it. So before we end, and I say my quote of the day, is there anything you want to talk and tell somebody, because you just don't never know what somebody's going through at this point, and they may need some words from somebody that understand what they're going through at this moment.
I will say, once you put your mind to something and you put your heart to it, anything can be done. You gotta want it. You gotta want it.
There it is.
Once you want it, you can do it. And if you put God first and you talk to him, he'll make it possible. Because he'll never put more than us than we can bear. We know. We're all humans. We all make mistakes. But you can't beat that addiction. It's hard. But once you do that, take that first step, and you eliminate all those people in your life who you thought were your friends, you will see the change. You'll see the difference. You'll ask yourself, I used to be like that. I used to do that. And you'll see the person. You're a new person. It'll be so great. It'll be a wonderful feeling. But you can do it. You can do it. Just believe in yourself.
That's right. Believe in yourself, baby, and you can do it. And before we go, I just want to say again, thank you to Rodney for being you are so welcome, for being so transparent. And when I tell you God worked this thing out, he worked it out.
Yes, he did.
So I'm just grateful that he came and told his story, and then he was just so honest. So I just want to thank you again. And I want to say, before I leave, I got to leave you with something. I got to leave you something. You can't reach what's in front of you until you let go of what's behind you. You heard it. And with that said, thank you for watching and listening to Sadiva Let's Talk About It. I Sadiva Let's Talk About It was recorded live at BK Studios. Produced by another B Woods production. And